tragic, ridiculous, trifling, annoying. All right, y'all gonna have to go ahead and bear with me. It might break up a little bit, unfortunately, because I'm uploading my Reasonable Doubt episode breakdown back in here. I need to put something here to stop this light from on my face. Hey y'all, how's everybody feeling? How are you doing? Welcome into another Reasonable Doubt live after show. Kind of like block this light from giving off this like shadow or whatever. It's your good sister you love to talk TV with, and it is giving y'all an echo. 1 second. Let me stop that. All right, y'all shouldn't be having an echo anymore. I don't believe. Hey y'all, how we feeling? How we doing? Is that gonna play? That's gonna play. Okay, cool. I think we are good to go. On a scale of 1 to 10, y'all drop y'all's episode ratings in the comments section or in the chat. Tell me what you thought of this most recent episode. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I'm a little unsettled with the most recent episode because we got such a brilliant episode in episode 7. Episode 8 is giving a dud for me, but I cannot wait to hear what are y'all rating it. What did y'all enjoy about the episode? What didn't you like about the episode? And all of that jazz. All things together. I'm gonna give people a little bit of time to come in before we get started. And is the audio all right for everybody? Let me check. I'm gonna give people a little bit of time. All right, it's seeming so. Y'all drop y'all's ratings on a scale of 1 to 10. How you felt about the most recent episode of Onyx Collective's Reasonable Doubt. For me, it really kind of feels like a little bit of a speed bump for the season. We've been moving along swimmingly, progressing the story. But we're getting in this episode, Jax, I guess, standing in her power and just making a decision to move on and to forgive Lewis and to fight for her marriage, and specifically to fight for the only man who has ever loved her unconditionally, which I would actually disagree with. And her spending so much time in this episode trying to make it, but not necessarily spending enough time trying to put some type of clear mind and perspective behind how she really feels about all of that. I think that might be at its core what my biggest issue is, because it's no surprise that I do not like Lewis. Cool, that's fine. But I think I'm pissed to watch Jax more so spend all of this time trying to get back to normal, get her marriage back, and just move forward, and not spend enough time with processing all that she feels, all that has come from Lewis's actions and how she feels about it and how she would want to move forward regardless of how it's being perceived. Like listening to herself first before she even jumps out the window and makes a decision like, yeah, I gotta fight for my marriage. And then that annoyance was only exasperated by the brother who was blaming Jax for everything, as if his little saint of a brother isn't actually the real problem within this relationship, or exasperated by her little male identified ass mama who is bigging her up for like standing up for her man because Naima gets a little bit rude and a little bit snarky. And it's just like, yes, I want to see Jax own her and I want to see her stand in her power, but I also don't want to see her placate and bend to all of these people who are taking advantage of her and putting her in a position to not be able to fully be herself. And that's what it really kind of feels like to me. Let me see if it's like... But I also don't want to see her placate and bend. Okay, it's a little bit of skipping, but for the most part, it's smooth. I was really worried about the drop frames that I'm seeing, but it's seeming like it's all right on y'all's end. Oh, child. And I don't know, is everybody watching Thursday Night Football? Allie popped in early and said, sis, it's the title for me. Because why are we here, Jax? Why is Low Life Lewis in your bed? Why is Low Life Lewis in your bed? Simple questions. We need simple answers. Like, we really just need to know. Why is Lewis here? Why is he in your bed, boo? What's actually going on? What's tea? Sabrina says, hey, Erica. Can't talk, but you're listening. What you rating the episode? I appreciate you. Welcome back, boo. Hey, Allie. And y'all, I'm going to do this once I do the Our Sister's Keeper or like whatever this Azim Alive is going to wind up being. I am horrible. Absolutely horrible. Allie, I let your whole damn birthday go by and I did not wish you happy birthday. We did not do no like little special kiki and like shout out and everything. And I'm like, September, I'm missing something. Happy belated birthday, Allie, because what the... I know I've been all over the place. I know there's a lot going on in my life right now. So I deeply, deeply, deeply apologize. But y'all, if you're catching this on replay, then go over to Allie's channel and wish her a happy belated birthday. And Allie, I wish you a happy, 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 happy belated birthday, boo. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. I know that Helene came around this time as well, and Miss Mamas is like tearing all types of which way, but you are safe. I am, again, just so sorry. The whole second half of September really just flew by for me, and I was holding on by the skin of my chinny chin chin, and I feel like life has been turning me every which way but loose. But you are special, you are amazing, you are dope, you are incredible, and you deserve to be celebrated every day, but definitely on your damn birthday. And I'm so sorry I missed being able to tell you on your birthday, happy birthday. Something had been gnawing at me like, Erica, you did not do something. You did not do something. You did not do something. And it was that. It was quite literally that. So I'm probably going to spend the rest of October just randomly telling you happy belated birthday until you get sick of me. But happy belated birthday, Allie. Hope it was a beautiful one. Sabrina gave the episode a 7. Where my chat at? Y'all, I'm working with one screen today, so like bear with me because when I don't got double screens, I be struggling. Sabrina gave it a 7. And let me pop this little chat out too so I can put it right here and read it. Allie's gonna give it an 8. Natoya Hable, welcome in, gave it a 7. C Walker gave it an 8.5. Really? These are some high ratings. You did. You was able to rest and relax. You disconnected for a few days leading up to your birthday. Aww. I love that. A nice, peaceful, calm, just bringing in great energy, not being disrupted or interrupted by the foolishness of the world is a wonderful way to spend a birthday. Boy, I tell you, quite lovely if you ask me. All right, input device should be Yeti. Okay. All right. Where do y'all want to start in talking about the episode? And then also the Discord is up. I was not actually a fan of this episode. It's not that it was an absolutely terrible episode, but it really didn't start off well for me, just given the fact that she took Lewis ass back. And then from there, it was just kind of downhill because there was so much time spent on her trying to maintain appearances of like, oh yeah, we're back together and everything is fine. Meanwhile, she's like basically about to implode inside. Because Jax, what the hell is this and what do you mean? First and foremost, do we actually agree that Lewis loves Jax unconditionally? Maybe I need to just get a whole bunch of polls ready to go because does Lewis really love Jax unconditionally? Can we be honest and can we get down to the nitty gritty of it? It was originally 6.5, but the ending bumped it up to an 8. The ending with Sally and Chanel on the dang on phone. That's what bumped it up for you, Allie? I hate it for her too. It's like, girl, what exactly are we thinking here, Jax? What's the plan? And I am like, contrary to what some people might believe, I am not of the camp of like just completely throw your husband away for no damn reason. But I really do not see how we salvage this relationship when they were already into the relationship on very rocky ground. I am still struggling with the fact that he has never found any type of confidence, peace, or grounding in the fact that his wife is a bad bitch and he's going to stop requesting for her to pretend on some occasions that she's not a bad bitch. Like, I am still stuck on that still. And I'm sorry, but there's no amount of toe curling sex that's going to change that. Losers have good dick too, Jax. That's fine. There's plenty of losers out here with big old you-know-whats and might know how to maneuver. Plenty of them. You're married to one. That does not mean that you should still be married to him. Yes, the convo at the end because the episode was dropping to that point. Let me go to that. Because I'm like, even the whole we should just tell the truth with Sally, I don't know how much of that I feel like that's like them trying to set us up for the okie doke. Let me go all the way to the end. Child, and then even up to the end, we had to deal with this foolishness. Jax, your man is a loser, girl. Why are we curled up with a loser? And then that's juxtaposed with old male identified ass mama. There's just so many things happening in this episode that upset my spirit. So many. Seems there is more to their backstory. More to who backstory? Lewis and Jax? In what way? Let me see what y'all, if you want to chime in, take the poll. Does Lewis love Jax unconditionally? Does Lewis even know what unconditional love looks like is a whole other question. But I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it with the does he even love her unconditionally? Because there are definitely follow-up questions to be had. Okay. And if y'all missed it, just as a little quick plug, your girl dropped her Zatima episodes 1 and 2 from season 3 breakdowns on the channel a little bit earlier today, and my Reasonable Doubt episode 8 breakdown literally just finished uploading. Thank God. So that will be up shortly for you guys to hear all of my initial thoughts in a more organized breakdown versus the reaction style that this live stream gives. You feel like you're missing something? This episode did kind of feel like we're missing something. That's fair. Lewis and Jax, the brother, was about to tell it. In reference to how? I need you to say more words. You had to hold on to something because you almost tapped out of this episode. That part. This episode was not compelling. I don't want to go as far as to say it was bad, but maybe it was bad, y'all. Maybe it was not actually a good episode, which is interesting because we have been doing just so good. And I'm really struggling with like finding some resolve in that. Allie says Lewis and his brother both give me that their mom stayed with their father even though she wanted to leave. I don't believe Lewis expects Jax to ever leave him. Lewis is quite literally the most mediocre Negro she could possibly find that actually has some height on him. And the more he talks, the more we watch him, the more he confirms that particular fact. And it's very frustrating to me because in what world does it actually work for a mediocre man to fully be able to be the right man for an excellent woman? Like, why not just go find a little mediocre woman? Why didn't you impregnate a Tony from the beginning? Y'all probably could have been very happy together, but no, now we got this little break baby and Jax is running around here trying to intimidate Tony into comply. Like, it's just so many elements of this episode that I was over. Between the damn co-parenting sit down, the Jax rolling up on her by herself in the damn PTA line. I'm sorry, the pickup line. The brother, you hurt Lewis before, Jax. Lewis started the relationship hurting Jax because and this is the thing that I don't know necessarily how to articulate, and I want to learn how to articulate it better. But I think we need to give more credence to how we expect people to show up in our lives or in our environments and the toll that takes on people. Like, nobody is even giving any kind of credence to the fact that Lewis got a bad bitch and then became intimidated by her and then wanted her to be less of a bad bitch so that she could be the perfect woman for him. Do we realize what kind of mental toll that takes? That is how we arrive at a woman that is now looking at him talking about you have always loved me unconditionally. No, he has not. You have just normalized ignoring his conditions. The man actually left you. Y'all was separated because he had a problem with how much you worked. And I'm not saying that couples can't have that issue and it's not a very valid issue, but the way that man went about it, Allie pointed this out before, of like, this man be penalizing Jax. And last time I checked, punishments come as a part of conditions. So how are we actually loving somebody unconditionally but also dishing out punishments? The math is just not mathing for me. But if somebody can make it math, I would love it. Girl, Watch Jax gave me Fatima vibes when she approached Tony. Big Fatima vibes. Big Fatima vibes. It's It's so disheartening. And then she does all of this and then wants to run from a conversation with Corey. What we running for? If you know that you supposed to be with Lewis and this is it, this is all, then why can't we have a conversation? What's the problem, Jax? What we actually running from, honey? Currently, we're at 60% of people saying Lewis does not love Jax. Or people are saying Lewis doesn't love Jax unconditionally. I feel like we literally started the series getting a very clear understanding of what what Lewis's conditions of love are. And if anything, we're watching Jax respond in kind. Because this man, we just got a few examples of what it actually looked like. He's pushing her to jump back and be busting it wide open amongst having a newborn. And because she's not doing that and is not feeling in the mood, now she got to go down to the sex club. In the flashbacks that we got to see of Jax and Lewis's relationship, there was so much concession on Jax's part and not enough curiosity on Lewis's part. And I don't think that nobody is saying anything about that. But I guess why would we? Because we live in a patriarchal society and the only thing that matters is the man's desires and how he feels about himself, I suppose. Michael says, Lewis is weak AF as a man. Don't get me wrong. But am I tripping? Jax is not any better. Season 1, Jax was wilding. I would love to discuss how Jax isn't actually any better. I think because of slut shaming, we created an idea about Jax because this woman is promiscuous or seemingly promiscuous, and now we have written her off. But if we really go back and think about Jax and how she's navigated specifically within this family, she has been, for the most part, aside from them actually being separated so they didn't cheat, and nobody's blaming Lewis for actually sleeping with the whole Tony. We're blaming him for sleeping with the whole Tony with no damn condom, as if he's a damn 16-year-old with no goddamn sense and not a grown-ass man and a grown-ass father. But I think that there still was a certain level of loyalty that Jax had to her family and a certain level of maturity. I think it's just so easy to discredit and to dismiss all that a woman has done as it pertains to building a family. If we see a man getting along with his kids, playing with his kids, it's immediately, oh, he's a great dad and he must be perfect. But the woman has to, in some cases, or at least for their relationship, be the breadwinner at some point in time. And then once he's up on his feet and in his job, dial back and don't focus on your career. Don't love your career because you have already surpassed me and it makes me feel a little bit intimidated. Instead of being the partner who is able to lean into being there for the kids because she is a very ambitious and affluent woman within her career, he almost starts to penalize her for that. And we don't actually get to see her fully resent him for it or give him any type of consequences for it. She kind of just has to roll with it. And so many of the things that Jax has struggled with mentally and emotionally, she had to do it on her own because her husband abandoned her and then has been punishing her for her success, punishing her for her commitment to her ambition. Meanwhile, we have gotten numerous examples, both in the past as well as in the present of when we actually entered the series, to all of the concessions that Jax has made. It's not like she has not tried to do the things that this boy is asking for, but Lewis very much so creates a circumstance within their relationship that it also feels like nothing is ever enough. So now Jax is the good wife, the doting wife, who Lewis wants her to be, because she has to listen every night to his drunk ass complain about how he wishes that she could just forgive him, even though she's already showing him that, ignoring any of her feelings about the damn break baby and sexing him regular and joking around with the kids. Like, that's what she has to be. So then what about all of her feelings wrapped around the consequences of your decision? What about her mental health? What about her? So no, I don't think that Jax is just as bad, because at least Jax has been considerate to a certain degree. Now, she hasn't been perfect at all, but even like Going back to when she slept with the security guard, that felt more egregious than it seemed like it actually is in the context of their relationship. Now that we know and we have the context that Lewis is the one who actually introduced the voyeurism into their relationship. He's the one who had already established that he actually liked watching his woman be with other men. So now we cannot penalize her and look at her and tell her, say that she's trash and she's this and she's that, because she was doing something that was already normalized within their relationship. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that I think that Jax is actually better than Lewis. She ain't perfect, but she's definitely better than Lewis. Sabrisa said, and lying about it. Lying for no damn. That's another thing. There's like probably like 5 things that just will forever chat my ass and will forever have people on my wrong side. And lying for absolutely no reason is one of them. I don't actually like liars, period, and I don't want you to lie, but I do understand the point of lies sometimes when you're trying to spare people's feelings and all of that. Lewis's reasonings for his lies this go round with this particular set of things tied to this damn baby and Tony was all bullshit, because he literally had the best support system, and Jax is more open than she has ever been, and he literally had no reason to lie and still did it anyway because he's selfish. Lord, trying to work with one screen is crazy work. This is the most honest that we got to see Jax be all episode. And I really appreciated it, but it came just so late in the episode that I think I was already like getting to be checked out.
I was humbled. Never been in love like that. Unconditionally. When I was at my worst.
But I'm proud of her for saying it. Truthfully. But why does she? Do we remember this conversation when she had to tell Lewis that he got to stop asking for her forgiveness when she's already living it and showing him? So him bringing it up and audibly getting drunk and throwing it back in her face in the way that he is, not necessarily intentionally throwing it back in her face, but like begging for her forgiveness. It's not actually helping her, it's actually helping him. I thought that was such a dope symbolism rich piece of dialogue, because that mirrors so much of how they navigate within their relationship. Lewis, like, and it's really kind of hard to explain because we live in a patriarchal society and it is normalized for people to prioritize men. When you're trying to explain exactly the problem with how inconsiderate and how self-centered Lewis is, it feels like what I'm saying is overly critical or overly dramatic because it's directly rubbing up against what society has already normalized. Does that make sense, y'all? Ellie, I didn't know you was in here and I couldn't hear you, honey. Hey, boo. Is that my headphones?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. It may be some people trying to get on Discord. Discord it got some issues going on the other end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm here, so I'm glad you can hear me. So maybe it'll let other people come on now.
Yeah, I don't see anybody waiting just yet, but okay.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying about the whole, like, to be critical of Lewis is kind of hard because he's operating like a very normal man.
Oh, girl. Yes. I understand exactly what you're saying. And I think for me, especially seeing a lot of the stuff on social media, especially on Instagram, people are saying how they want them a Lewis. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't want that man. You don't want that man. He's not a good
Please,
man.
no.
But
Not
it goes
at
back to what
all.
you said. The way he's being presented is what's the best word I can say? It's very counterfeit. It's very counterfeit for me. I'm not sure where you want to start, but I had something I wanted to say about um Lewis's character. I can't remember the role that she played in the show, but Essence Atkins' character, when she
Yeah,
was
she's a domestic
describing,
violence expert.
okay, domestic violence expert, when she was describing the characteristics of an abuser, I promise all I thought of was Lewis.
Oh,
Minus
really?
the physical, yes, minus the physical aspect of it. When she was describing how they will continue to apologize and say it will never happen again, and when even though he was drunk and he was saying continuing to ask Jax to forgive him, like the first part of her
She
statement,
have
all I
concerns
thought about
about
was
the legal
Lewis.
system.
They try to get you in
Mm.
with their traumas and make you feel bad and pull you in, and then when something happens, it's all your fault. They never take the blame. I said, is this how look? That's really what
I
I got
was so
from
focused
it.
on Chanel that I did not even, but now it is like popping out. That is such a dope insight, Allie.
I was like, because at first I thought, and this was just me, when they panned the camera over to Chanel and Jax, I thought they were going to zoom in on Jax's face. I said, oh, she missed that message. I guess it wasn't for her at that time. But for me, that's the first thing that I thought about. And then what solidified it to me is when they went to therapy and Lewis had the audacity to tell the therapist, I just want to make her happy and make her life easier. I said, excuse the hell out of me because you're doing neither. You're doing neither, my boy.
Neither one. What are we talking about, Lewis?
Make her life easier? Wow.
Honestly, I think I checked out of the damn therapy scene, Ellie, if I'm gonna be honest, because I was annoyed from the moment of her, like, basically, baby, baby, please, at the very beginning. Like, I was immediately turned off. So to see them yucking it up and her having her goddamn leg all crossed on this man at the therapy session, and I knew that the therapist was gonna be so excited about it, I was like, I don't really give a damn what y'all talking about in here. Hey,
And
Edify
Erica, you
Style.
know me well.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday.
Hey,
What you saying, Ellie?
I was gonna say you know me well, and you know that I don't like the whole violence toward each other. But in the opening scene, when she was like Lewis, and she paused, I said, "Girl, slap him,
Oh,
slap him, go slap him." And I'm like, I don't
please.
even be saying stuff like that, but I really thought she was gonna, put five to the face, but she didn't. And that next scene, I said, I don't want to see this. I'm disgusted by this sex scene. It's not
The
giving.
sex
It's
scene was not
giving.
even sexy. It's
It
not
wasn't.
giving sexy.
It
Like,
was
what are
for
y'all
me.
talking about? You said it was for you?
No, I'm saying it was a little dark for me. I'm like, to me, I'm thinking you're gonna do a love scene. I need like Blair Underwood and Tony kind of love scene. Like I want the flashes. I want the everything to be displayed. So it was a little bit dark for me to when I'm watching. I'm like, why is it so dark in this room? Like I know
Because they shouldn't
because
be
I'm like
having
naked.
sex any damn way. It was not visually appealing because something is off with it. And I think I spent the first 20 minutes, y'all, of the episode like, she's dreaming. She's dreaming. She's dreaming. Only for it to be real.
Yeah,
Oh,
I said that too. That is so crazy. I said the same thing when it went on for a while when they were kissing before we even got to the sex part. I said this is not real because my girl Jax would not do this. And then I said, well, I'm gonna take it back. My girl is doing this.
Hello. Lo and behold. And why can't we have a conversation with Cash? Why are we just completely stepping over what happened the night before and it's whatever, blah, 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 blah.
well, to Corey's point, he said it might be difficult, which means he already knew his powers of persuasion. Because if it wasn't no thing but a chicken wing, he would have went on about his life and wouldn't have to have him. But he said, I know it's going to be difficult for us working together. because we all knew that tension was there. So he already knew. He was like, one more time, and we gonna buckle. But he trying to be respectful of her marriage and everything else. He was ready to buckle. Like, oh,
I know he was, but why was Jax playing it so cool? Like, oh, it was nothing.
Because she's trying to make her marriage work.
Right. It was a scoff for me when he made that statement. Like, I know it's going to be difficult, and she was like, maybe for you, but not for me. I said, wait, what is happening right now?
What is happening right now? Because Miss Mamas, you got out there yesterday night by the skin of your chinny chin chin, and nobody would have faulted you if them knees buckled, not one bit.
Okay, listen, she was like I said, the neck crevice, he was right up in there. Had he simply just kissed it, she would have been folded, slammed down on the ground, over.
Hey, Brittany, welcome in. I don't think she's in the chat, but I mean, she's in the chat, not in the Discord.
You know, Erica, you said something earlier in the live that I kind of want to bring up if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I whenever I watch the show, I watch it for multiple different reasons, multiple different facets of it. And when I'm watching the show, I love how they changed Jax's wardrobe specifically, and her going into the next. All this whole white was the next scene, and it kind of made me think about her movements throughout the rest of the episode, moving in this kind of white knight. I'm here to save the rest of the episode, save Lewis from himself, and save my family. It was kind of giving that type of energy with this whole white knight motif. The next thing you know, she, you know, trying to save Chanel, you know, in the courtroom and with the expert, and then she's sitting there trying to save Lewis in the relationship with Tony and trying to make them co-parent, which is a whole nother topic. And then, you know, Naima and trying to be there for her mom and her new baby. So it's a lot of Jax trying to put on, I think, the white knight and put on the white cape and trying to go in and save everybody. It's something I kind of noticed when you were talking about it throughout the episode. And I was like, but Jax, it's not your job.
That part.
It's not your job. Though you look amazing in this white. I'm not going to hold you because white on white on white is hard to pull off and not get dirty. Like a track shirt. But the fact that I'm like, it looked amazing, but I'm like, this ain't your job though. This is Lewis's job. Yeah,
that part. That part. And I hate the amount of labor is required on her end. And Lewis just gets to yuck it up and lay dick. And I'm just like, really? Really? This is what we're rooting for?
To be fair, I disappoint. I said not to be fair because Lewis has really messed up in this whole situation.
Ooh.
I know. Don't come from my neck. I knew when the episode happened and she took him back. I said Erica gonna go in this whole live. I knew it. She going guns blazing. Every missile is about to be fired. She getting snipers ready. I knew.
I don't even got the energy.
But I know you're ready to go though. So I knew I knew you were ready to go for Lewis. I already knew. I said his neck is not gonna get up tonight. Up on Erica's foot. I know. But
period.
When I was seeing Lewis in the drunken state, especially, and him trying to say I'm sorry, and be overly apologetic, I think what he's trying to counteract is the fact of it's never gonna go away. It's one thing if the break baby is just in the womb and is just being carried around. It's another thing when we got to tell the kids, we got to tell your mom, we got to tell my family, we got to go to schools, we got to do this, we got to do that, and it's gonna be a constant reminder that I fucked up. If I can say that on the live.
No F words.
Sorry, it's a constant reminder that he basically dropped the bomb and that he, slipped up and slipped in and did what he did. It's a constant reminder. So I think he's trying to be overly apologetic for the apologies he's going to have to possibly make in the near future. Even his brother's someone asked him about, splitting up college funds and splitting up, tuition and all these different things. Like that's going to be the reality soon. So maybe he's being overly apologetic because that's going to be the new normal soon.
But for me, it's like, what does what do these apologies mean if you're not the aggressor and on the offense when it comes to handling Tony? Why do I gotta show up to be the enforcer with Tony? Why does she basically get to run amok, do and say whatever she wants? And I get that men are typically put in a very tricky spot, but to me, he needs to be as aggressively apologetic in action as he is in dialogue. Jax says to him, like, you can't keep apologizing to me because it's to make yourself feel better. It is not actually doing anything for me. So you're not actually checking Tony and handling that. You have your brother coming to town and you haven't checked his ass because he's now sitting across from me talking about how I'm the damn problem and the only thing that you have done is go and have this damn break baby because it's not a side baby. Nigga, it's both. How about that? And he is not actually seeing it from a place of, oh wait, my brother actually has a bitch that he has wanted to play down and play dumb this whole damn time because he loves the idea of having a bitch, but he could never rise to the occasion of keeping and maintaining and supporting a bitch how she needs to be supported. Like, that to me is where the apology comes from. I don't have a problem with the woman deciding that she's going to take her cheating ass man. Well, he didn't technically cheat, but dumbass man back behind some stuff like this in reference to the break baby. But when I tell you that the action is the apology and he has to move completely different. Too many people have major ass transgressions in life and then deeply hurt somebody or deeply do something that will change the fabric of everybody involved's life for the rest of their damn lives, and all they have is some flowery words and a couple of apologies, and they don't have any type of apologetic actions. Lewis, if he was really sorry, if he was really worth his weight in salt, if he was really worth sticking by and having it be, I'm gonna save my marriage, I'm gonna stay to this man, then the whole fabric of him needed to shift. And of course, he's not going to completely transform overnight, but it should feel like he is moving fast, progressively into a space of being a different person because he is that damn sorry. Your flowery ass words in this goofy ass speech about how you need me and how it was all about you. You're saying all of these words at her, but it was only speaking to how she makes you feel, what she does for you, and not any of the ways that you actually show up and add value to her damn life. And that is the stuff that actually needs to change if you're actually apologetic, because we stay in the same place, you still have the same mentality. So while you might not go and have another break baby, but you're going to do some other goofy stuff that puts us back in the same place that we have been in. And Jax, for the next 30 years, if she decides never to retire, is still going to be struggling with your insecurities, with your lack of confidence, with your with your exorbitant expectations as it pertains to her damn career and who you want her to be. And you have yet to figure out how to love her as she is. She needs to divorce this nigga. I'm sorry does not help. It does not do any goddamn thing. And I'm not saying that people should stop saying the words I'm sorry or I apologize, but if that is not backed up by actions, then shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it either. And this situation, just go with me with this story. It reminds me when I used to be so heavily involved in church, and let's say a young lady gets pregnant by someone. They're both in the choir, praise and worship team. The guy leading praise and worship gets one of the members pregnant. She gets sat down and ostracized because to them, her sin is showing, but don't nobody know he's the one who pregnated her. So because she's pregnant, because she's showing, we gonna have her sit down because we don't want to send the wrong message, but we still gonna let homeboy lead praise and worship because nobody knows it's his child. And I got that image when you were talking about the heaviness and the weight and the burden that women have to carry when it comes to these relationships. If Jack stays with Lewis and Tony brings forth that child, it's going to always be the talking behind her back, the side talks that Jack stayed with Lewis and he had a baby on her. He will never get the weight or the burden of having a child while married, whether they were separated, whether they were on a break. The fact remains that was you had a baby on your wife. However, you're not gonna get the brunt of anything. It's gonna be easy. And even going back to your point, Erica, for Lewis, I understand him wanting to be honest, but everything he says is for his life to be made easy. Oh, I wish this baby would go away. My son, not our son. Oh, I just wish it wasn't like this. Well, you did this. you did this, and wishing upon a falling star for this baby to magically disappear is not going to do anything about your actions. And so when we're talking about like having these conversations between men and women and holding people accountable, I know some women get upset and some men also get upset because they're not used to someone actually standing on business and holding them accountable for their actions and what that really looks like. Telling me you're sorry because you had a baby on me, what does that really mean? Even going back to your point, that's not to say not to say sorry, but what does your apology really look like? What does this mean for us? You are bringing forth a new life. Our family dynamic is changed. Even when they were at the picnic or lunch, when he told his daughter, you can't, you know, don't push away new love. I said, oh, I know where this is going. When he has to break the news that he got a baby on the way. A
It's
baby
like
is
all
love. A baby is innocent. It's
self-serving.
not their
This is
fault.
not a moment
Yes,
about you. And here we go. This is the Lewis show.
big facts. I just can't stand the bastard.
Me
I
either,
can't stand him.
Ellie. With every
I
episode,
can't
it gets
stand him.
worse and worse.
He does.
I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing now. That's all.
Oh, she says, I think Jack's still suppressing her true feelings, and it's so sad that. Girl, you want me to buy into you just gonna move on happily ever after with your damn family, but I can visually see that you're holding back your damn feelings. So no, I'm not getting on board this goofy ass train of yours. I am not buying into you resurrecting your damn marriage on some lies and suppressed ass feelings. Get ready to have your emotional breakdown and or full on mental breakdown because the hoe is coming. Because you want to run, hide, tuck tail, and girl. And it's I think maybe also why I'm struggling with this episode, because I'm not just in a place of like criticizing. Well, I'm criticizing everybody in reference to just what I do, but I'm not in a place of just on Lewis's ass. Jax's behavior in this episode is making me really question the woman that I have known her to be, and I don't know if I can rock with who she is allowing herself to walk into to being or trying to be.
I understand that. It makes me think of I don't know if it's imposter syndrome. I'm not really sure. I think that when she had I think it was the last episode when she went to the therapist and was talking about unconditional love and her being in a position she couldn't even fathom what that looked like, what that felt like. And as the therapist was explaining it to her, she just knew at that point she had never experienced that. And so, what I'm confused on is how did we get from her believing she's never experienced it to believing that Lewis is the one who has exemplified that in her life? I think that's the part that's missing for me is how did she end up here? Because I'm like,
Exactly.
Jax is too intelligent. She's too smart for this to happen. And I know that she loves her husband. She wants to be with him, and I get that. However, I'm looking at it like he's not doing enough for me. He's not doing enough. You can't just tell me, oh baby, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, and we gonna make this thing work. I want our family. Yeah, that sounds good. But you still got Tony over here with a baby on the way.
Who says that you now got to
Okay.
move in and stay with them for the first 3 months of this kid's life because she says so, and because you goofy as hell, weak as hell, you gonna try to do it. Jax, girl, please cut your losses and stop this bullshit. Stop it, honey. Stop.
I want to propose a question.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, I'm wondering, was Lewis simply just a fill-in guy because Damon was not available? Because when we met them, she was literally just lost Damon's case. She was looking at the board in season one, looking at the board, then looking at all the losses, gets into a car, not really focusing, bam, runs into Lewis. And he's like there, you know, and maybe that's the thing, is that he's just there. And because he's there, he received all of the love or all of the everything she wanted to give to Damon but couldn't because of her Damon's, in prison. So Lewis just happened to be there. So my
What you think,
question is,
Allie?
my question,
Oh,
my
sorry. Go
question
ahead.
is, no, no, I'm just reiterating my question is that I'm wondering still is, was Lewis just happened to was he just there because Damon wasn't there, and that's the reason why she's trying to make this thing work? That's my question.
Honestly, ever since last episode, I've needed to go back and rewatch the first season. Specifically, I wanted to tune into her interactions with Damon because it's what's been reverberating in my head is like, I think it was you, Allie, who said that you didn't believe that she actually had real feelings or she could have real feelings for Damon. So again, I would have to, I think that's a very interesting question to pose. My instincts want to lean towards yes, but more in the line of like she had already had these big feelings for her client, lost his case, he's in jail for the rest of his life, and she wants to do something with them. And then that is piggybacked on top of what I believe most Black women are told of like, you have to concede, we're the ones who just have to do the things to make the relationship work. So once you find a man, you got to mold or whatever to fit him. And the next man that she ran into was Lewis. And then things transpired because of who Lewis is and who she is and how she could best mold, switch, and do all of that with herself. I don't know if initially she had like all of these big plans for Damon, but I do feel like she had big feelings for Damon. So you could be onto something there.
Yeah, I believe that she did have genuine feelings for Damon. I just didn't believe that she would have had anything serious with him. But I believe her feelings were definitely authentic and genuine towards him. I'm on the side of the fence of I actually believe that this woman just is really head over heels in love with her husband, which I just wish it wasn't like that because I do believe that if Lewis was just there or filling a spot, well then again I don't know. I think that's a good question now that I'm thinking about it because when I think about her mom and her mom choosing to stay with her husband even though he did what he did to Jax, it just makes me feel that it's like she's trying to follow in those footsteps, not with what her stepdad did to her, but to be with someone regardless of what they do. Because
Yep.
I don't understand the reason she's with Lewis like that for me. I don't know why other than what my mom had with my dad with my stepdad. That must have been unconditional love because how could she stay after he did what he did? And so her believing she's never had that now it's her opportunity to display unconditional love to Lewis because she believes he's already been that vessel of love for her.
Mm.
So possibly, maybe she just. Oh
I
God,
really
it gets
struggle
even
with the
worse.
idea of her being head over heels in love with her husband because if that was the case, I don't know if I believe a woman to be head over heels in love with a man and not pulling up all the stops to like do what he's asking. I feel like we wouldn't have met the Jax that we got in season 1, episode 1, who felt a bit combative, but rightfully so because who the hell are you to be putting these stipulations on my life and my career? um that to me just gave a woman who could love her husband but is not head over heels dumbfounded how some women can be, and I have been that before. So I'm not saying that in a judgmental way, I'm just saying that as a matter of fact way. Like, I don't believe her to be in that place for Lewis because she has entirely too much resistance and pushback now.
I mean, thinking about it from your perspective, Erica, which kind of what you said, picking back on it, I wonder when we meet Jack, she's very combative and very like, who the F you do you think I am? Literally, she's giving that type of energy. But I think she's giving that type of energy because of the fact that her mom was such a rollover and was such a
Mm.
pushover for her stepdad. And even the fact of her mom more than once still choosing men over her. I don't remember what happened between Jax and her biological father. I don't remember what they said about it, but the fact that even still you tell your mother that your stepfather is trying to, basically SA you, and then years later bring him back into the fold as if nothing happened. Like, do you not care enough about me to not choose me in this moment, Mom? And I think it maybe her response to Lewis is like, I can't roll over because I don't want to be like my mom in that regard.
I can see that. I can see that. I think I'm having a problem processing, like, if that is the case, then why are you rolling over now?
Do you think it's because of her conversation with the therapist and
It
him
could
bringing
be. And
up
that's
what
why I
unconditional
hated
love
it. I
is?
love that conversation, but then I also hated it because it felt like it put an idea in her head to go and hyper fixate and focus and try to seek that out. And sometimes we can, like, because we desperately want something, we just try to, like, make it happen or make it appear where it actually isn't. And that's what it feels like. Like, Lewis does not love you unconditionally. We know the condition.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
He doesn't, and I think I get so this show truly. I mean, I go through so many emotions when I'm watching it. But the episode where they were in therapy and when he began to talk about how he had to deal with so many things with her as his wife, and when he stated, he had to deal with her, calling out another man's name. And I'm like, come on, Lewis. She wasn't calling out his name in a pleasurable way. This was the man who kidnapped her and really put her through a traumatic experience. So it just makes me feel like Lewis has exhibited every characteristic of a narcissistic individual in addition to just being immature as hell. It's kind of like, oh, well, you took my candy. Let me tell them, yeah, she took my candy. I put it in the refrigerator. I came back, but it was gone. Yeah, Jack did it. It's the get back spirit for me.
Yeah.
It's the get back spirit for me. And it's like, even though like I'm unsure if I consider her rolling over at this point. Well, I guess yes. Because so it's like she's rolling over and she's making the conscious decision to continue to choose Lewis in spite of. It's like I'm gonna choose you. Regardless of what you do, I'm still going to choose you. And I hate that for my good girl.
Right, because girl, why? Hey Brittany, welcome in, honey.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hey.
Yes,
Hey,
I'm on
Brittany.
the morning. I'm on the morning bench tonight because what was that episode? What was all of this? I was listening to the conversation, so I'm not really like too far behind, but the vice president apparently is in town and screwed up all of our streets, so I couldn't get home the way I normally do. I was like, y'all are in the way. I got things to talk about because what happened to Jax? Why did Jax turn into a whole different person? I almost turned the episode off within the first 10 minutes. I was like, I don't even think I want to watch this play out because no, I'm not happy she's with. I mean, under other circumstances, black love, go power couple, be great. But Lewis is not a power partner. So don't go be
Ooh.
great because you're not going to be great. This is going to be hell. And you're going to suck it up and pretend now. She was acting her tail off to act like, oh, yes, we're building our family. And look, we're back together. No, you're not. Stop it. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling yourself. And you're not fooling that little big head kid of yours either because he clocked it. He was like, oh, so y'all back? Y'all normal? Nah, something's still off. I was like, can you get them together? For me to be hoping the child gets the parents together when he ain't did nothing right this season either. I'm on the morning bench, y'all. I had to go get chai tea and some rum and maybe a shot of tequila. I don't know. Something is just off with everything. And it's like, did they get news about the show? So now they're speed rushing to rewrite what they were intending to do? Or what? Because they canceled a couple other Hulu shows. So now I'm like, what's happening? This isn't it, though. This is not our Jax. This is not the woman. You said it, Erica, and I have to agree. This is not Jax who's stood on business and told Tony, you don't want to see me coming after my family in the parking lot. But then look at, it's okay, I forgive you. Stop asking me to forgive you. No, he did enough to be forgiven. He has not changed. He's still the little petulant toddler that he is. He's still the spoiled brat, baby, whatever. And his brother actually caught hands from me this episode too, but I'm gonna stop talking now. So hey, y'all, hey.
No, because bump
Thank
the brother. The brother was already like barely there because you was helping him hide to begin with. But now you want to, oh, you hurt him first, blah, 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 blah. Boy, go to hell.
And we clocked him say, tell him I'm always on your side to the brother. So then for Jax to be like, I already know you're on his side. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Shut. Just everybody go away. Everybody go in your corners. Be on punishment. Get off the show because I'm annoyed. We're the adults. Where is Corey Cash? Corey,
please.
You let him slide back in. We gave you direct orders last week.
She stopped it though. She wouldn't even have a damn conversation, and that to me felt like the worst part of it all. Like, yes, you over here playing house with Lewis. Okay, girl, work that out. But to decide that you are not even going to allow this man to have a conversation about what went down because you're just going to chalk it up to, oh, it was nothing. It was absolutely not nothing. I'm pretty sure you need to be wearing knee braces today, honey, because them knees is weak. You was this close.
Yeah, I'm on the morning bench with this episode. I gave it like a 4.5. I was like, I'm not believing what I see. This is fantasy. This is fiction. They are they're in that, you remember, I don't know if you all watch Grey's Anatomy, but when Meredith went into the coma for the whole season, that's what happened.
Yes.
Jackson was in the coma for the entire season. That's it. It has to be. It has to be. She hit her head. Somebody drugged her drink or something. Like Corey put such a spin on her that she was like, let me act like I am not interested in this man at all. And I'm going to throw myself at the feet of my trifling husband. And the brother knows good and darn well if Jax had came up pregnant fooling with Damon, this would not be the conversation we would be
having. And rightfully so.
Ugh. Where's my dumpster where the men are in this week? I need to put him in it.
The brother, I'm over him completely. But we should have known because you were kin to Lewis is a week. So there's that.
Also, I know we give the soundtrack a lot of attention. The disrespect of playing D'Angelo in the background of that dark, twisted, nobody asked for this sex scene. You have Morris Chestnut on a show, and you're going to make us suffer through her have relations with her trifling husband? Seriously?
To D'Angelo. Like, y'all literally coughed up the coin for nothing. You wasted it. Congratulations, y'all played yourself.
Come to the front carpet. We need to have a conversation. Production. Because what? Anyway.
I was utterly disturbed. I was utterly disturbed by that. And I'm like, I love my music, and normally me and D'Angelo really be rocking heavy. But I just couldn't. Wrong placement. It was so. I don't want to use the word demonic. I don't want to go that deep. But that sex scene was real twisted.
Because it wasn't supposed to be.
It was. Oh God.
It makes me think too, like when some people say how sex is communication, and sometimes married couples, you can be angry, but you don't go to bed without whatever the case may be. It felt very obligatory. Obligatory.
I like that.
And it was like, this isn't the time to be intermingling other things when you are both also still avoiding a real conversation, because it's not okay. And you can't just decide, oh, it's okay now.
Like,
when it's been
literally,
wrong
she
for
started the
3
episode off, oh, it's all right, it's fine, everything's fine. Huh?
Y'all have been separated for like 2 straight years. And with the brother saying it was not a side baby, it was a break baby, that changed everything for you? Really, Jax? Jax? MF and Jax? And we're having this conversation with, I would expect this out of every other woman on this show, but not
Every
Jax.
one of them.
That just broke
The
my
same
heart.
Jax that had Corey Cash breathing down her neck the night before, and you are
In
cowering.
the blue suit, Corey Cash. With the purple tie. With the 3-finger hold, Corey Cash. With the moisturized lips. Have we ever seen Lewis look moisturized? No. He always looked ashy. I don't want this for her.
Not ashy, but it's true though. I can't deny it's
so
true. I was like, he ain't never got no lotion on, no shea butter, no nothing.
Ever. With his weeks. She the best thing look, and every time he's in the scene with her, she's the best thing to making him look better. Otherwise,
he looks like he moisturizes with that cocoa butter lotion. And y'all know the cocoa butter lotion I'm talking about. The one that say cocoa butter on the bottle, but it's not an ounce of cocoa butter in it. And normally I like McKinley Freeman, and I'm just so over this character in this show. Thought we were done. He don't have no oil in his hair. I said he dry and just driving me crazy with how his dryness is affecting her brilliance. She's still showing up in court, but like at some point, is this really the best interest of your family? I understand not wanting a broken home and all of that, but now you got multiple homes. And you stepping up to act like Supermom Part 2. I don't know. Okay. I have some cohesive thoughts coming in a second, but I'm really heartbroken, y'all. Very heartbroken.
I fear that this season is finna go out in flames and not in the greatest way. Like, it's just gonna take a nosedive off a cliff, and I'm gonna be very disappointed because I have been raving about this season.
See, Erica, I disagree.
I hope I'm wrong, honestly.
I disagree because that's what the show does. It wraps you in, it gets you tight, and then it takes you in a place you weren't expecting to go to. And you're like, man, that was good. I believe in the show because the writing has been phenomenal from season 1 to season 2. This episode might not have been people's favorite so far. That's what consensus is. But I believe the show is going to turn. It's going to do some things we're getting ready for. Especially now that we do know that there is a conspiracy between Chanel and a cousin now. So I wonder how it's going to play out next episode.
I don't even know if I give a damn about this trial no more with the way they're centering Lewis.
The way I felt about Olivia Baker and her article is how I feel about this trial. We don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore. Y'all made me watch a dark ass demonic sex scene between Lewis and Jax after Lewis has a horrible ass speech and she begs him because she just got to have him. I don't care anymore. Y'all took all I had. I have nothing. Nothing to give y'all. Y'all want Lewis? Y'all get to have him. But now I don't give a damn about this trial.
I made the mistake after you all were talking about like the people actually rooting for Lewis online. And I was like, let me go see what the people are saying. And today everybody was like, yes, this is how you hold together a great Black family. And this, I said, what are y'all watching? Are we not watching the same show?
This is why we won't return to great Black families, because we don't even know what a great Black family is anymore.
Come on.
What do you mean? You really think in the 8.257 billion people in the world, Lewis is the best thing for Jax? When Corey Cash exists? Stop the mayhem. Stop the madness. And again, I'm not saying jump right into Corey's bed tomorrow, maybe on Friday, maybe, Sunday. I don't know. But
when they win the case,
like,
Friday.
just they really were riding for this man like he has done. His speech was so moving. This is when they say sometimes it's hard being the smartest person in the room. Because I was looking at the comments, y'all really, we're lost people. Help us, Jesus. Help us, Lord.
It's probably the same ones that was raving about Jazz's speech at the end of season 2 of Bel Air.
And still thinking JR was a good man. Like,
nah. That's a no for me.
Earth is ghetto. I'm ready to leave. Beam me up. Because what? Jax and Lou?
When this man exists, when this man works next to her beautifully, when this man is already bringing out the best in her, both professionally and personally, with barely any effort. Like, he is bringing out the best in Jax just by trying to bring out the best in himself because he happens to be in a room with Jax. And that is what the hell Jax deserves.
That's what a relationship, being real personal for a second. I don't want to be bothered with nobody that's not going to do that for me. If I'm great by myself, I don't want to have to constantly keep compromising myself to be with you when I know that if you are this, there's at least 50,000 men better than you. And not to say that people have to be perfect, but to have that experience in a professional relationship, that would be my sign if I were Jax to say, maybe not Corey, but that means if there is a Corey, then there's multiple Corys. There are more people that will challenge me personally in a relationship than to constantly be dealing with the BS that comes with being with Lewis. And the fact that your trifling mama still loves him, that should have been red flag number 1. Your mama is trying to, your mama ain't picked nobody good yet. I'm waiting for the new boyfriend to be a killer. Like, no. But I really was shocked. I said, people really are shipping them carnival style ships. They are like, yes, Lewis and Jax, they are finally back together. It's been off since the whole series started with them being off. What about them scream they deserve to be together, or they should be together, and it's healthy for both of them? Because he's still in the back of his mind like, I know you don't forgive me. What else did you do? Who else is pregnant, Lewis?
Who else is pregnant?
Who else is pregnant? Because she didn't want to
goes crazy. Who else is pregnant goes crazy.
He was slinging community penis, Erica, and raw with the neighborhood community vagina. So there's no telling. She seemed to be storing up sperm because she really wanted a child, apparently. Out of nowhere, now she's super mom extraordinaire, got all these fancy doulas and everything else. I was like, wait a minute. We lost the plot.
We lost the plot. We spent entirely too much time this episode with Tony. We are now centered the show around Jax's desire to stay with this loser ass man and Lewis. I don't give a damn about this trial no more. Morris has said 6 words. I'm over it. Y'all about to lose my ass.
Start a riot.
Jump ship.
What? Start a riot. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? We are all just happily in love with Lewis? No. No. And
it was almost like a switch flip. Like, she literally just was like, yes.
She was as happy as the people in... What was that movie with the man in the candy factory? She was as happy as the people in Whoville. Her eyes got real big and shiny. I said, Jax, did he drug you? Blink twice. Do you need us to come get you? We are ready to come get you out of this situation. Are you okay? Did you hit your head? Something is off.
She is quite literally not okay. Any other thoughts y'all got about this episode?
I got a question, and it may sound controversial, but please don't come for my neck. I need it for tomorrow. The question I want to ask is: are we loving her with Jax because? Excuse me. Are we loving Corey and Jax together because of the man that Corey is now? Oh, are we seeing something that's possibly who he always has been? This particular Corey, because when we first met him, he was banging a girl on the couch to report a girl, and now we're kind of like rooting for him and Jax to be together. I'm asking, is it a situation of like we love him with her because how he's evolved since we've seen him, or kind of who he's always has been? Does that make sense?
I'm just gonna be messy. I'm gonna be messy.
Okay, be messy.
I'm not really here for Jax and Corey to be together. I just wanted my good friend to enjoy pleasurable sex with a fine man
That's
who
fair.
is the caliber of man that I would want her to be with. Um, I guess for me, because it's like she is still married, even though I do not respect her husband. I don't want her stepping out on her husband either. But at the same time, I wouldn't be mad if she did. But I'm not here for me to say, yeah, I want Jax and Corey together. No, no, because I don't think she's in a place to even be her best self with him with this emotional stuff she has going on with Lewis. But I just want my good girl to get her back cracked, a couple good times.
For me, it's less about Corey, which I think is such a great highlight to juxtapose to the conversation of her being with Lewis. It's about who she gets to be when she's with around Corey versus who she has to be in this marriage with Lewis. And honestly, like I know people like love to like rag on me about this, but it goes back to also what I really enjoyed about Damon. It's like she gets to be, who does she get to be her full, excellent, big, flawed self with? And not have to walk around apologizing for it, not have to walk around tucking in anything. Like, yes, Corey is played by Morris Chestnut, who is absolutely fine, delicious, if you will. But it's more about who we get to see or how we get to see Jax operate in her wholeness around this man, and how we don't actually get to see her do that with her husband, which to me is just a blaring red flags of like, girl, get your ass out of there. You're not supposed to be here. I don't know if that answered your question.
I'm debating my answer to your question to Edify Style, because it feels like for me, with the push for Corey, number one, Morris Chestnut can do no wrong.
Okay.
And if I say he can do no wrong and then tomorrow he does wrong, he didn't do wrong, because he can do no wrong.
Morris is clean.
But when it comes to Jax, my push really isn't necessarily that she needs to be with another man or needs to be with Corey specifically, but the idea of Corey existing, bringing this version of her out, then that would be enough to say, I deserve better than what I have in my current marriage, and I can push to hold myself for that standard when it should come in the right person. Once I've done the work and everything else, which she is the only one, if we can all be honest, she's the only one actually getting something out of that they're going to. She's the only one really doing some true work and some growth. She's the fact that she hasn't like gone all off the rails with what she rightfully she rightfully should and could be losing her mind with all the stuff that she's been going through and also still working with. But yet you see little glimpses of her and her growth when she's with Corey. You see images of her and what she's working towards, and then you see that retracting when she's with Lewis. And so for me, it's not so much that I want her with Corey. I don't want Corey off the show, so Corey needs to be like the bridge for now, so we can keep looking at that smile and that the moisturization on the top of his head I'm sorry. Get back to the point, Brittany. So for me, it's more so like there is there is hope for a better partner, and she's already experiencing what that feels like. So the fact that you can actually see her physically make herself smaller and change who she is when she has to go back home and face those kids and her husband and this, that, and the other. It doesn't necessarily need to be that somebody's knocking you upside your head or anything else for you to file for a divorce, but you can see this is not a perfect, not that perfect exists, but this is not really a good match, her and Lewis. So if it's between Lewis and Corey, Corey on Monday morning at 8:45 in the morning, please and thank you, file the paperwork. But if it's between Jax's best self and Lewis, whoever the man is, Corey, Samuel, Thomas, Jax, I mean, whatever his name is, there is a version of Jax without Lewis that is the version of Jax that is almost her, like Erica even said. She's more free and she's more authentic and she's not really having to think so much about how she shows up and what she does. She's on auto go, auto excellent, auto everything. And so for me, it's like Corey is the answer right now because just like Allie said, sis is stressed and deserves some freedom. And Corey is a willing participant. And Lewis just needs to go. I don't think I answered your question either, but I'm sorry. I'm just over him.
It's
But thank you,
okay.
Erica, for
Actually,
putting on the screen. Hey, Morris. Hey.
I have a question, and everybody can answer, but I would love Edify Style to answer first. What
okay.
does Lewis give Jax?
Dang it, Erica. Ugh.
And anybody in the chat can also answer.
What does
Because I
Lewis
just
give
posted
Jax?
my video and somebody immediately responded, Team Lewis and Jax. And I'm going to pose this question in that comment section as well. What does Lewis give Jax?
Okay. I think Lewis gives Jax the type of love she's never experienced, either from her father, whether it be biological or even step. I think that he
What is that?
sees. I can't articulate it, and
I'm
I wish
asking
I
what
could.
is that specifically because if he's giving you a toxic version of what was absent, then it's not actually him giving her anything. Like
That's all I was like.
what positive things that she can actually use that are beneficial to her does he give her?
Ooh. Dang it, Erica. That's a hard question to answer. I think he does love her. I think he does give her love. I'm just not sure in the construct of what we're seeing him perform in. I don't know. This is the answer that I want to give. I'm gonna give the answer that I want to give. The answer that I want to give, he gives her the love that she hasn't received from her father and stepfather. That's the love that he gives her. I don't think necessarily it's the purest type of love, but I think that's what the kind of love that he does give her, which is why I think she's gravitating always towards him because she's never experienced this type of love. And I think it's not just romantic love. It's not just, like a sexual desire love. I think he gives her the type of love where someone's actually in love with her, completely and totally in love with her. It's not perfect, but I think he does give her, I am in love with you type of love.
Okay.
Did the person in the chat, Erica, under your video, did they expound or
No, they just
said
said
Team Lewis?
Jax and Lewis. That's it. And I just responded, I hate that for you, boo.
Yeah, I guess because they normally don't give a reason. I think that's a great question for me. The only thing that came up in my mind that Lewis gives Jax is presence. His presence. That's it. He doesn't give her anything more than that. Him just being there. Like, I don't perceive that Lewis gives her love. I don't perceive that Lewis gives her compassion. I don't perceive that he gives her grace, that he extends mercy, um, that he gives her friendship. I don't believe he's a foundation. I don't believe he gives her any of those things. He's just there. That's it. So I guess, yeah, he's given her something her biological father didn't give, which was his presence because he wasn't around. I mean, it's just sad to say, and I think Jackson's story is appealing to a lot of women because a lot of women just want to have a man there, not thinking all you're really desiring is a masculine
Present.
presence. That's it, which is sad, but I think that's the time and place that we're in culture, which is sad because we have, television shows and everybody want to have a podcast now to talk about relationships, and they are some of the most toxic individuals that should never be behind a microphone. And we have people who aspire to have this. So it's almost like, having a piece of man is better than having no man. It's kind of like the mentality. And
Mm-hmm.
or having a piece of woman instead of having, no woman at all. And that's just what I believe that Lewis gives her, because I really would want someone who really believes that, they are a great black power couple, or they are the extension of, black couple goals. And just like the person in your comments, they'll say Team Jax and Lewis, but they can't give a reason as to why they feel that way,
Yeah.
because
I'm
it's
so
nothing
glad
there.
that you brought up like the point that you made, because as a single woman navigating life right now, I am so clear, and I've done the work and continue to do the work of like getting clear on what it is I want, what it is I expect, and what it is that I need, and knowing the difference between all three. And when I tell you, the number one thing for me is not just taking a man to have a man, but the masculine energy that I want in my life in a romantic way has to be able to do certain things, because I have very real needs that this person should be able to address. And the way that, when I look at Lewis as a character and I see that he is not actually servicing any of the needs of his actual wife, but he gets bigged up like he's a great husband and he's a great father, while also doing the very bare minimum and not actually checking off any boxes for the actual needs of the people that he's engaging with. It is mind boggling to me, because I'm at this place and like have a clear understanding in real life. So to watch it fictitiously, it's just like, this should be easy, a no brainer. And yet here we are. Brittany, did you want to add anything about what Lewis gives Jax?
I'm trying to behave, Erica. I'm trying to behave because I wanted to say pain and suffering and a personality complex, because with that, no. But to that point, I wonder if, because of where she is in life and because of where all of her friends are, if it is one of those situations where he's good enough. So I don't want to like gamble with being a statistic when, to the outside world, from what she's dealing with and what she sees on a daily basis, especially being in the courtroom all the time, the worse there is. So that's good enough, since I put this much time in it and I know this person. And I hate that for women watching the show, because you can grow into things, especially since they got married young, fairly young, or whatever the case may be. I think he provides a warm body and a co-parent, but he's not even the best at that. He's a father. We know that. He is a father. But the idea that without him, would she have to grapple with singleness and then that fear of, am I going to find anybody better, since he's not, again, the worst possible thing. Allie, your point to him giving her attention that she didn't give or didn't have is like, the bar is at the floor. And she's expecting the best in every other aspect of life. So what does he give her? I'm really struggling, because it's not like he's giving her anything she doesn't have except for a penis, but you can buy those now. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna behave. I'm gonna behave. I'm gonna behave. I'm sorry. That went left real quick.
But to the point of the love thing, right? Like, because Edify Style, you said he gives her love. Can we give somebody points for giving love that the person doesn't actually receive, or it's not the love that they actually need? It's like, if I am fixing, if I'm under the sink in the bathroom fixing the sink and I need a wrench, but you give me a flathead, you gave me a tool, but were you actually assisting me?
Dang it, Erica. It's funny because this is something I'm personally facing in my own real life, about asking for the love that I need, not just the love that you're willing to give.
Yeah.
And so when in asking for a wrench and getting a flathead, it's like, thank you, but this isn't what I asked for. I need a wrench. This is how we can fix what needs to be fixed. So to answer your question, the long way around, it may not be enough. But you asked me what he gave. I'm saying this is what he gave.
No, this is great. This is like all a part of the conversation.
No.
I think it's going to be wonderful for people who at least watching back, especially who are Team Lewis. It's like, let's get down to the brass tacks of it and like have that conversation, because on the flip side, I know what I can say that Jax is giving Lewis, and I'm watching her consistently evolve through finding new ways to show up and new ways to be a better woman, and then offer that over to him. And it's like, that part is what's really frustrating for me to watch, because why in the hell do she got to jump through all these hoops? Why in the hell does she has to apply the work being done on the back end only to not be getting that reciprocal energy and effort?
That part too, Erica, is one of the things, even in playing back, because I was like, do I hate the therapist this episode or not? Trying to figure that part out. The expectation that Jax is bending so much to show up the way Lewis is asking her to show up, to give what he's telling the therapist he feels he's not getting in this relationship, but not once stop to say, okay, Jax, but what do you need from me? Because in his mind, he's doing everything that makes him the A+ husband. He just made this one mistake of sleeping with this woman. And I said, not once was there a conversation about how Jax feels she needs to be loved, or what she feels she's not getting, which is why she wasn't willing to sacrifice her career to give more time and more energy and everything else, because she was getting that fulfillment in her career. She was getting that at the job. They're not having the real conversation about why they were separated to begin with. And it's all Lewis focused, what they do talk about, which is very much giving, she's not getting anything additional. She's getting what she's been getting this whole time. And to flip the switch and say, oh yes, everything's good, we are back together, yada yada, you've now given him a pass.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to become a totally different woman now, because you have to then fill in the gaps for the fact there's going to be fallout with your children, and there's a whole nother family that you're blending your family with. So what is Lewis really having to change, except for the fact that he signed up to be a husband and a father, and he's doing the bare minimum of being both of those things? Yes, he cried a good tear. Okay. You get 2 gold stars, but he's not really actively pursuing anything. He's giving her what he feels like he wants her to give himself, and that's selfish.
I was waiting for that word to come out. Because as you were talking, I'm like, Lewis is just a selfish bastard all the way around. And I love the screwdriver example that you gave, Erica, because it made me think back to like the way that people give and receive love. The way I give love is like acts of service, and the way my man may receive love is words of affirmation. But if he's giving me words of affirmation, but that's not my love language, he's trying to love me the way that he wants me to show love to him. Excuse me, and it doesn't work. And I think with Lewis, going something that you said, Brittany, he only believes the only thing he's done wrong is produce a child. He thinks that's the only thing he's done wrong in his marriage. Everything else is Jax's fault. And I believe with that mindset, there is no way you can have a successful marriage when you don't or refuse to see the fault within yourself. I was watching an old episode of the Braxtons, and they were in therapy, and the therapy asked the sisters, she went to Tamar specifically, she said, what do you think you've done to contribute to, your sisterhood being in disarray? And Tamar was like, honestly, I don't think I did nothing. And I'm like, what's done? You're literally the worst one, but yet you can sit here with a straight face and be dead serious that you have not contributed to the disarray of your sisterhood. And with Lewis, that's how I feel about him. I feel like Lewis does not believe he has done anything to contribute to the disarray of his marriage other than getting a woman pregnant. We're not going to talk about the constantly punishing Jax, having your own place just to spite her, even though she wanted him home the first season. I can't even begin to think about how many times she asked him to come home and he just refused to. I just, the more I talk about this man, the more I continue to struggle with why my girl want to be there. When he
Fire
literally gives
him.
her nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly,
You
that
make
is
a
just going to be
point.
my response moving forward of like the whole team Jack. I mean, the team Lewis, Lewis is a great man. My responses moving forward is just going to be, so then what is it that he does positive for Jax? What does he bring? What addition does he add in her life?
Yes.
Because
I do
typically
have a question.
when you hop on a team, you're rooting for something. You're not just doing it carte blanche. I was a Kobe fan because that man is masterful, because of Mamba mentality, because of the jump shot, because of the perseverance, because he will outwork any person on that damn court. Because, you know what I'm saying? There's reasons.
And they're not even working. There's not even like a goal for the relationship that they're working towards, except for the idea that they're staying married.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that, like, what's this marriage producing? Because you can't put the marriage on, raising the kids. The kids are 2-3 years away from being out of the house. So what's that going to look like for you two as a couple? What are you working towards? What is the goal here beyond just being together? Because it seems like when she tried to help him, and going back to last episode, when she was trying to help him in the flashbacks, he didn't want her in that aspect of his life. He wanted her in this one compartment. You be my doting wife, and you love on this, and this, and this, and this. So there's always going to be that void of not being fully fulfilled, with not knowing what the goal is for this marriage, and they're not having the conversations that need to be had. They're really placating his feelings and his ego. And it's a disservice to women when we put ourselves in those boxes to constantly break and fracture ourselves into different molds to just be considered in a quote unquote healthy marriage. A healthy marriage is producing something beyond children, in my mind.
Ooh.
I had a thought, if I can interject.
Mm-hmm.
The thought that I had thinking about, you all brought up a lot of really brilliant points, and that's why I'm sitting there kind of like wrestling with this thing about Jax and Lewis being together, and I'm thinking about back to season 1, about her mom. I'm wondering, is Jax repeating the patterns about her mom, that her mother displayed, about always trying to have a man around? One. And then I'm also wondering, is Jax afraid of failure in her marriage? Like, she succeeds and excels in so many other things, but this is the one part of her life that's like not all put together. So I'm wondering, is she fighting to save it because she doesn't want to seem as a failure, especially around like Black couples and everything else. Is that what's the driving force behind maybe her acquiescing her true feelings, acquiescing her anger, even her feelings about Black men? You have a baby on the way. How's it going to affect me, our kids, my reputation, everything else? I'm wondering, is that something that she is also grappling with as well? Is that potential failure of a family, of a marriage?
Mm-hmm.
That's just a thought.
Be.
And also one more thing, I found it very funny. On a lighter note, I found it also funny how her and DA woman were kikiing at the little parent brunch or whatever, smoking cigarettes.
The little DA lady, prosecutor, it's like, girl, you are quite literally about to be Chanel 2.0, and yet you going so hard in the paint for her. Good luck with your struggle, ho.
I struggle, ho. But yeah, you're right. It's a setup. But I liked how they were smoking cigarettes, and then you had the Stepford Cuckoo wife looking at them like, oh my God, you all are out here smoking cigarettes? They were like, yeah, ho, take a puff.
I didn't like that scene. I was like, look at them. That was a cool little moment.
It was. All right, y'all. Any last thoughts? Because I got to get out of here and get into Power, because I am not going to allow nobody to spoil that for me.
I will say it was very interesting that Mohawk Friend had more than 2 words this episode. I said, oh, they must have heard us question.
I was today years old and her name was Autumn. I said, that's your name? Your name is Autumn?
I didn't know what her name was either.
Shut up. Okay,
I thought her name was What You Gonna Do.
I'll call her Mohawk.
And did y'all talk about Baby Boo coming to
the jail?
No,
no,
I don't care.
Adrian's ass. Y'all can talk about him because he's a child. You're a child.
A pure teenager.
But here's my question.
Don't think it'll be a beautiful jail marriage? I'm gonna be serious now.
But here's my
question.
Down
there proposing with through the goddamn plexiglass. What is wrong with you?
But what deal did you make, sir, that you're not serving no jail time?
I mean, he's very much so responsible for Evan being in prison. Jax set that up for him. Remember? She set all that up.
But I'm like, but just community service and a fine? That's all we getting? Okay.
Yeah.
Jax is Jax that girl then? Because
she really
is. If she just getting him with a fine and community service, I gotta go pick up some trash. And he's probably getting the money from the trust anyways, so he's good and Gucci. Well,
and Candy, well, whatever her name was, whoever she's supposed to be in the episode, Candy keeps a check, Burris. I said, they done found Candy and put her on the show too? What are we getting ready to... Lord Jesus.
She gonna testify against Jamarion. I didn't even talk about her in my breakdown because that's just like a seed. And I'm just like, okay, we'll see where it goes. There was a lot of things just thrown into this episode when you really think about it.
That's why I feel like, I don't know, are they going to be canceling the season? Because now it's like, it seems like it's a rush to just put a whole bunch of stuff in. And also with her having the phone call with Chanel, talking about, I think we should tell the truth. That makes me think Chanel didn't do it, because why would Chanel tell the truth if she going to jail for murder?
Mm-hmm.
But also, I feel like at this point, they don't even care no more. They done lost the plot. The plot is in the dumpster with JR and Lewis and all the other men we been through in the dumpster, and it's on fire now.
Not JR and Lewis.
Yes,
my
sir.
dumpster fire list after this fall season of episodes and shows is very long. I think there's about 2 men not in it.
Come on, 2 men not in it. Any final thoughts, y'all?
No, I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining, and happy belated birthday again to Allie, because my horrible ass dropped the ball.
Well, happy birthday, Allie.
I appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Allie.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It was a whole month ago, y'all.
Oh, well,
Not
It's
a home.
okay.
It was September
It was
22nd.
yeah,
It
it was
ain't
in
been a whole month.
September. We're in October now, and that's a whole month ago.
We are.
Terrible, quite literally terrible.
Well, thank you all. Have a good night. Until next
Everybody
week.
have a good one.
Yes,
Have
my
a good night,
breakdown is
everybody.
up. Y'all also go and check out Allie's channel if you watch All American Homecoming. She dropped 2 dope videos talking about the finale, and then also talking about Damon, Simone, and Lando. And I was literally Allie posting all them damn comments. I said Allie gonna see these comments and be like, what the hell was going on with Erica? Because I was literally talking to your ass as I was watching.
I'm like, girl, not somebody, and I think they were trying to be funny because I do enjoy the fact that we have um different perspectives on it, but still kind of like feel the same way about certain things. So
Mm-hmm.
somebody DM me, and I see their name on the under your lives for All American Homecoming. It was like you and Erica need to do a homecoming. I mean, yeah, All American live and talk about these things. I was like, why should we do that? I said, because you're trying to be messy.
Ah! They just want us to argue.
I said, you're trying to be. I said, I said, you're trying to be messy.
That's hilarious.
I said, but no. I said, but me and Erica. I said, we ever decide to do that? I said, we can agree to disagree and have.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we can have our perspectives, and then I can still see where you coming from what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying. I'm like, I love that about our dynamic. It's just missing in the YouTube space with Black women, and I'm so glad that we can facilitate those type of conversations and dialogues within whatever shows that we talk about.
Yeah, I agree. That's hilarious. I ain't getting no DMs or
It
nothing.
was.
They need to go over there. I'm like, me and Allie, I'm not gonna be with it, but we gonna ride. And I think
Right,
Now,
that
Erica,
just
right.
you done
speaks to
told them.
us, huh?
I said you done told them people on several occasions in the last 2 weeks not to play with you. So I think they listen.
Good. But I think, Allie, it just speaks to both of us having a really great sense of self and a certain level of self-awareness and very, very, very aligned intention. So like the different perspectives based off of lived experiences and preferences are one thing that peppers the commentary, but because the intentions are aligned and because just the grasp that we have on ourselves is aligned, I don't think we clash in a way that people might expect us to.
Right, exactly.
I love
And I
it.
love that.
And I really enjoyed your videos. When I saw that your video was 39 minutes, I said, thank God, because I thought I was crazy. I said, why in the hell is my video this long? And then I went over and looked at yours. I said, oh, okay, this is normal.
Yeah, and it was so bad. I wasn't even like my roadcaster. I wasn't even looking at it. So when I went to go stop it, I said I was talking for that long.
Same.
I said, "Oh my god."
There was a lot to get through. I saw the finale. I was quite disturbed. I'm so angry about it, but I'm still like,
it was so much to get through.
Truth. I'm still just looking like, this what you're gonna give us? Not a future instance. Did Simone make it to pro? Did Orlando make it?
No, I'm glad we didn't get that because I didn't need to see it. I didn't need to see it at all.
I'm just like, I was like, okay, this what we doing? Okay,
basically.
That's cool.
But yeah, y'all go check out Allie's channel. She back up and running and dropping new videos. Allie, we gotta figure out when we're gonna break down Zatima. I was gonna do it tonight, but then I'm like, oh, Power, Reasonable Doubt. I don't know when the hell these damn lives are gonna be, but we'll figure it out. My Zatima videos are up, y'all. If y'all are watching that, y'all ain't missing nothing. If you're not, I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm okay.
And I'll be live tomorrow on my channel as well as on Brillo the Big Reviews channel to talk about the Power finale. So thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see a lot of y'all tomorrow. What'd you say, Allie?
Good night, honey. I didn't know that. I'm gonna check it out on his channel.
Yes. Alrighty. All right, y'all. We are up out of here. Thank y'all so much for joining the Reasonable Doubt Live After Show. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. And look out for the new series, the new videos that I'm dropping, because I will be dropping new videos every single day. And I'm probably talking about one of your other favorite shows. So support your good sis with some other shows, not just Reasonable Doubt. There's a lot of great content popping out right now. And I would love for you to jump in, comment, like, share a video. And again, I will see you next week, boo.
And the name is Tucker. How bad was it?